I, like many other fans of the classic Star Wars titles Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, was very excited about the remaster that was coming out in a collection on Steam. The remaster promised upscaled graphics and, most importantly, a full multiplayer suite that was entirely functional, that players could jump on and relive some of their favourite moments online. How bad could that have gone? Well, it turns out we couldn't have predicted quite how badly that would have gone. If you just have a quick look on Steam, you'll see that these are mostly negative reviews, and if we scroll through them, you get a picture of what's going on. Now, I sort of knew that this was going to happen when I started the game because I had seen some of the reviews already, and I thought I'd make my own sort of impressions of what I thought about the game and to see if the negative reviews were right. Well, they were. What is this? What version of a Sage Ventress looks like this? This is the true test to see how the remaster is. I mean, that wasn't a good sign. Oh boy. I mean, I'm willing to check out the game. I'm not guaranteeing that I will keep the game. But we'll find out how janky this is. Oh. Can I spawn? Okay, apparently I can spawn. Can I spawn there, please? What? Okay. This is a good start, guys. This is a real good start. This is horrific. What? Am I spawning? What is happening? I think everyone else has had the same issue. All right. Try another server. Okay. What do you mean defeat? We just got here. Oh, I can't seem to spawn. Spawn with a mouse. Okay. I mean, what is going on? What? One of the biggest problems with the game is its actual multiplayer servers. There are so many things wrong with them. And over the course of about an hour, I think I experienced most of what the community has been saying. Firstly, the way that the game feels in multiplayer, it just doesn't feel right. At the minimum, it's very floaty, very janky, and you just don't feel like you're in control of the character that you're playing as. The one thing that you will find is the hit registration in this game is one of the first things I noticed as absolutely truly awful. You can be shooting at someone for a very long time, do absolutely no damage, then all of a sudden all the damage goes through. But usually you've been killed before that happens. So it's a very odd experience. It feels like you're out of body, like you're looking at with nostalgia at your past, but you're not connected to it. And for me, as a fan, I really wanted this multiplayer to be good. I wanted this to be a fun little Star Wars game that we could all get together and sit and play and relive some of those magical times that we had in the early 2000s playing these games for the first time. You won't find that here in the multiplayer. One of the other things with the multiplayer is that sometimes it would just crash. The connection to the host would just simply be gone out of absolutely nowhere. And it was just very disappointing to see. I thought, well, I'll give it a go in the next game, and I would never get to the next game. One good example of this that I found on a couple of occasions is that when you're waiting to spawn, you've selected your character and your loadout, you've selected where you want to spawn, and the countdown starts, starting sometimes at 15 and starting at 10 sometimes. I wasn't really sure what the consistency of that was, but it would get to about 1 and it would just freeze. It would freeze at 1 and then you lose connection. And I was sitting in one of these games where this happened, and in the chat in the top left, I started to see other people saying the same thing. It's stuck on 1, it's stuck on 1, it's stuck on 1. So there's obviously a weird issue going on with loading players into the game, and maybe the server's keeping up with the players in a match. And bearing in mind there can be 64 people in some of these matches. One of the things that I did notice as well is that of the servers that were often full, for some reason Hero Assault was about the only thing that would work and would be the only thing that people would play. And even that had a slight jank to it, but for some reason it wasn't as bad as the classic Conquest mode. I feel like more time and effort needed to go into the classic modes that this game is built upon. There needed to be more time. And so if you take away, you've got multiplayer servers, there's a bit of lag, there's a bit of jank, but at least it looks good. Not really, to be honest. I appreciate this is just an upscale of textures and not a full remaster, but can you imagine if this was a full remaster, a proper remaster, that could have been Star Wars Battlefront 2.5 in terms of the new franchise. That would have been great, but it just doesn't feel good at all in the multiplayer. So if you're lucky enough to get into the game and to get into a server and to get a server working, well, at least you're in there, you're in the battle, you're getting involved. There's a really long match, because these matches used to be 10, 15, 20 minutes. No, you won't, because for some reason they've capped the tickets at 100, which means every single match that you're going to be in multiplayer is going to be over in about 5 minutes. Sometimes 10 if you're lucky, but 5 minutes. Now this is, for me, quite a difficult video to make, because as you'll know if you've been regular subscribers or regular visitors of this channel, generally I try to look for the positive in everything. I try to find something that you can take away from what I'm showing you that doesn't completely dishearten you. But I feel as a fan, and many other fans, quite angry and quite disheartened by this game, that I'm not even able to experience it for any length of time, really. You're shoved into another match where you get stuck in a countdown that breaks at 1, and then you lose connection, and then you have to start again from the main menu. I did dabble a little bit with player versus CPU in a conquest match for a very small amount of time, just to see how it feels, and it feels a bit better, but it still isn't quite there. You still feel like you're floating when you're aiming. Doesn't matter what sensitivity you're on, it seems you still feel like you're not quite there. And one thing I did notice is the aim assist, and we'll get onto this in a little bit, even in the single player, is absolutely broken. Okay, so I tried a bit of player versus CPU and then played a little bit of the single player, just to have that nostalgia of going back to Battlefront 1 and playing the first level of the single player. I remember as a kid, was really excited about that, because that was the first time I'd really played Star Wars. I'd seen all the movies, I was a big fan, and the opportunity to go back and play one of the first missions as the droids was really fun. I think if you're looking to spend £25 on this, don't. Save your £25, go back and buy the classics, because the main draw should be for you, really, for this quote-unquote remastered collection is the multiplayer. That doesn't work, so you're better playing the single player. And hey, guess what? You might as well spend hardly any money playing the originals. Actually, I'm going to check now how much the original Battlefronts are. Yeah, the classic Star Wars Battlefront is £8.50. The Battlefront 2 Classic is £8.50 as well. So for £17, you can have the experience of playing the single-player classic Star Wars games. This is very disappointing. I don't know how unexpected it's going to be for a lot of you, because remasters like this, they are nostalgia grabs, and I went on it fully because of the nostalgia and just got really disappointed within the first hour of me playing the game. Sorry this isn't a more positive video, but I wanted to be really honest with you guys about how it is. And you've got to vote with your wallet, so if you have paid for this game and you're not having a good time, make sure you get refunds. Maybe, as I say at the end, maybe keep an eye on it in case there is improvements, but for now, guys, this is not worth your money or your time. Let me know in the comments below if you've played this, what your experiences have been with this, because obviously I'm only getting a PC perspective, so please let me know what your experiences are on other platforms, or even also on PC. That would be really helpful. Give me a like if you agree with my views here, and you want more people to be aware that you shouldn't be spending money on this if you can, because your time and your money is valuable. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.